Welcome to Mindset and Muscles with Amanda. I'm your host, Amanda Ferlisi. Welcome back. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for supporting the podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Esther K. Shpitalnik. I'm so happy I said that right, Esther. Your name is beautiful, and I didn't want to mess that up. So today on the show, we have Esther K. Shpitalnik, a recovering attorney turned personal success coach. Esther has seen firsthand the powerful effect of change your thoughts, change your life, and now is on a mission to inspire the masses to do the same. Before starting her coaching business, Esther was in the trenches of the corporate world, a sports and entertainment attorney, an events marketing manager, and a sales account executive. A lover of puns, a healthy dose of woo-woo, a proud mama to two, Esther lives by two mottos: to thine own self be true and be audacious. Esther, welcome. Thank you so much for being on my podcast. That's probably one of the best bios I've ever seen or spoken out loud. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your current job and how did you get into that position?
Sure. So first of all, Amanda, thank you for having me. And, I know you were on my podcast, and for your listeners, I just want to extend just some gratitude to you. I mean, we knew each other years ago when we were in totally separate places in our lives, which maybe we'll get into. Hello?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I
did it glitch?
Yep, glitch. Hey, it's live, people. Anyways, and I'm just excited to be here. So thank you. Okay, so my story, how did I get to where I am? So as you read in my bio, what I do is I'm a personal success coach. And what that means is I coach my clients on exactly what I said: change your thoughts, change your life. I really believe that your thoughts are the direct result of, or your life, your results are the direct result of your thoughts. Mm-hmm. If you have negative limiting thoughts, you have negative limiting life beliefs, actions, goals, right? So how did I get to where I am? I know a lot of people are like, oh, I always knew I wanted to start some sort of business. I was always entrepreneurial. Not me. Like when, you hear people are like, oh, I always had a lemonade stand. Not me. Like my sister and I would have lemonade stands. My sister would be like, oh, okay, Esther, let's do a lemonade stand. And I'd be like, okay, whatever you want to do, Elisa. Like I was never the one to do that. And throughout my several careers, as you mentioned in my intro and my bio, I was an attorney. I've been in sports marketing. I've been in events marketing. I've been in sales. And each time I would switch careers because I never felt fulfilled. And I don't use the term happy. I use the word fulfilled. Like I just never felt like this is where I belong, even when whether I loved my job or hated my job. And there was definitely both. Mm-hmm. And at the height of the pandemic, I actually started a new job as an attorney. After I had my first babe, I was like, let me, go back to work. And I was like, let me get something nice and stable. I'll go back to being an attorney. And then COVID hit and there was no stability. And I got laid off along with, 20% of the rest of the United States and world. And a short time thereafter, when I was starting to look for a new job, every time I would go to the keyboard to type my resume or apply for a job, it was like, Amanda, when you put two poles on a magnet together, like the opposite poles, they like go like this.
That's You're like, this isn't right. This is something is pulling me to not do this. Like, yes, can you do this? Sure. Yeah. But you're not yet. You're just like, it's like, doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Like that was like that's literally what happened to my fingertips and the keyboard. I was like, I need to do something different. Mm-hmm. And I had this very pivotal conversation with a friend of mine, and we were having lunch and I was telling him some ideas about what I wanted to do and I wanted to start a business. And he said to me, what are you so afraid of, Esther? You're not afraid of failure. You failed plenty of times. And which, gotta love real talk from a friend. You're like, hey, you're a failure, right? But he was
But it's good to hear that though. Like, cause
yeah,
you've look at where you are now.
yeah. And he was absolutely right. I was like, what am I so afraid of?
Mhm.
And I think it's like a big thing where we self-sabotage, where whatever fear we're feeling. So I did a lot of thought work. I did a lot of work on myself. And I came to the realization that I was afraid of what the others would think. Like, what are other people going to think? Oh, here goes Esther starting a new business, starting a new venture yet
Mhm.
again. And am I allowed to swear on this podcast?
Absolutely. You speak
Okay.
freely here.
Okay. And I had this realization where I changed my thought. My new thought was, fuck everyone else. This
That's
is
right.
my life and I have to live it.
Mhm.
And from there, I thought about, okay, what kind of business do I want to start? And I thought about, what do I feel so passionate about? What do I love to do? And what's going to make me money? Right. So I wasn't like, and I wasn't like, oh, let me do coaching. Those were my two thoughts. And then I explored, well, I could do this, I could do this. And I kept coming back to coaching because it's something that I had looked at for years before that. And I'd always told myself negative limiting beliefs like, oh, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough experience to be a coach.
Mhm.
And this time I said, I'm done with those thoughts.
Yep.
And then I launched my business. And that's how I got to where I am today.
I just want to let you know, because you can't really see through the video or whatever. I got goosebumps when you said fuck everyone and whatever they think, because it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we live our lives for ourselves, and the more that we live for ourselves, the happier we are. So I always tell my clients, they're like, oh, well, especially clients getting married, they're like, well, what if they say this? It's like, who gives a fuck? It's your life. You want to
Yeah.
have a freaking horse and carriage at your wedding? Do it. You want to start your own business? Do it. Who cares what all these people think? There's a reason why I have like 4 friends, because they are my people and my family.
Yeah.
Like, they support me, and who cares what anyone else thinks? And I think that's a huge point that you make, because a lot of people at the end of the day are like, well, I can't do that, because what will Tom, Dick, and Sally say? You know what? It doesn't matter what they say, because at the end of the day, you being happy and fulfilled is all that matters. So thank you for sharing that fuck you moment, because I think a lot of people need to get that to that point in life. So really, thank you. So
And I do, let me just jump in
yeah.
before your next question. I do want to acknowledge that it's not so easy just to say, well, fuck everyone else. It took a lot of
Hmm.
thought work and a lot of coaching myself. I didn't just wake up one day being like, well, fuck everyone else, I'm going to go do it. Right. It was like, I had to really understand what are the roots of that limiting belief. So for your audience members, full transparency, it took some time to get to the point where I could say and really believe, fuck everyone else.
Hmm.
So go ahead.
Can you actually walk us through a little bit of that? So you said you did a lot of work on yourself. Can you talk to us about like specifically what you did? Because you say limiting beliefs. Can you
Yeah.
walk us through that?
Yeah, sure. So what I mean by a limiting belief is, it's a belief that, and this is something that I learned from, her name is Brooke Castillo. She's kind of like a major mage in the life coaching world. She has her own life coaching school. And I sort of randomly found her through, someone had mentioned, and I started
Hmm.
listening to her. And she says, and I really like it, she says, a belief is a thought we think over and over and over again until we believe it to be true. And so these limiting beliefs are just thoughts that we think over and over, and then we believe it,
Hmm.
right? And it's the limiting beliefs that keep us from doing X, from doing the things we want to do. And so you had asked me, like, how did I get there? What do I mean by self-work, thought work? I I guess it's many years coming. I
Hmm.
had always, since maybe my New York City days when I lived in Manhattan right after law school, I picked up a book. I'll actually, hold on, I gotta get it. It's actually right here. I got into like a little bit more woo-woo stuff. Oh, no, that's not the book. I grabbed the wrong one. Hold on, viewers, hold on. Okay, here we go. So this book, Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. There is a reason why I keep it handy. When I read this book the first time, I would say 10 years ago, it opened up my eyes to the world of the universe, positive affirmations. And I didn't really fully understand it, but I started getting into it. And then through a series of reading books similar to this, thinking about positive affirmations, and then the crux of the work to get me to change my limiting belief really was understanding where that came from. Like, what was the root of that limiting belief? Did that answer your question?
Yes. So hopefully it's on the screen, but I'll post it underneath the book that you have. Yeah. You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. So I'll post that in the description below. And Esther swears by that. She lit up when she showed me this book. So that's like really how you know, like someone's expression. Thank you for sharing that. I think positive affirmations across the board and whatever you do, whether you're starting a business or just waking up in the morning. I know I shared this, I think on our podcast or just in general, that starting the day with just 5 simple positive affirmations can set the tone for the day. Do you set positive affirmations for yourself every day, or what do you do with those? Is that just in general?
So I go on and off of my practice, my positive affirmation practice. And I will literally, I'll take a page. Oh, actually, I'll show you. I will show you. It's right in front of me because
I love this.
So if you guys, for the listeners, I'm just showing a notebook that I keep, and I fill up one whole page of positive affirmations. And they're not like rainbows and sunshine, like I'm going to be da da da. It's like, I am now doing X. I now believe this. And actually, I recently switched it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to books that I really, really recommend and things that shaped my life. If you all aren't familiar with Dr. Wayne Dyer, Dyer, he is, if Louise Hay is the godmother of the spiritual positive affirmation world, he's the godfather, and they knew each other. And he wrote this book called Wishes Fulfilled. And in this book, he really goes into I am that I am. I'm not going to get into it now. Highly recommend the book. And the concept is you say I am and then what you are. And when I was starting my business, I took that to heart. I said, I am, and the words just sort of came to me, a personal success coach.
Mm-hmm.
And so the past couple of days, instead of doing positive affirmations, I actually have been doing an I am list. Like I am, instead of a positive affirmation, it's more like I am this, I am this, like I am the things that I want to become.
I love that. So like, I don't like, I wish you could like see goosebumps through the camera, but like when you talk about things like this, especially because you're so passionate, like I get the goosebumps. So hopefully everyone, like I know after this, I'm going to be looking up these books and probably Amazon Priming them because I have problems with like I need it now. But anyhow, thank you for sharing that. Love that. I love positive affirmations and I love these I am statements. So I'm going to look into that. I did have a few more questions. So the other question I have is, what's one thing that sets you apart from others in your field?
I love this question. It's really hard to answer because I think the tangibles are the things that my clients say, right? I'm authentic. I offer my personality and the way I coach is no BS. I really hold you accountable with compassion, authenticity, and I ask the questions that you haven't asked yourself, and I ask the kind of questions that no one else is willing to ask you, and I go to the places that no one else is willing to take you. So those are some of the tangibles, and I think it's a combination. Like what makes anyone unique? I think it's my combination of my past experience, being in the corporate world, being in law school, failing a bunch, and then succeeding a bunch. And I think I also think like when it comes to this business, like anything, you've really got to click with a person. And I think that I'm very clickable.
I understand that. So, give me an example of like what a call with, like, so say I'm interested in, choosing you as my coach. Can you give us an example of like things that you look for within like a phone consultation? I'm assuming like a phone consultation process. Can you like explain like some questions or something that you might ask so like, listen, I don't click with everybody. I'd like to think I do, but sometimes like it might not be the right fit for someone's goals. So what do you ask people to really know like, wow, I'm really going to click with you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it's hard to put your finger exactly on what makes two people click. But what I look for in a client, and I think it goes both ways. We both interview each other. What I look for in a client is someone who is willing to do the work, and even if they're not sure if they're willing to do the work, they're willing to see if they are willing to do the work. Because I get on the phone with a lot of people that they think they want to change, and then when it comes down to it, they're not ready yet. And that is no slight on them. Like I said, it took me a long time to get there. So it is no slight on anyone if they're not ready. So that's what I look for is, and I can hear it, I can tell because they'll say, yes, I want to sign up right away. And they're willing. Yeah. So if they're willing to do the work.
I think you nailed it. I think in what I'm doing, I keep playing with this freaking microphone, but Maurizio, I love you so much. You're my tech guy, but we're gonna move this microphone. I think you nailed it. Willing to do the work. I mean, I think you and I both can relate to that because a lot of people, they say they want to lose weight, and then we get to the nitty gritty. It's like, well, these are the things you need to do to get there, and then 90% of the time they might not be ready. So I think you nailed it. Willing to do the work, especially for both of our businesses. I love this question because it can go so many different ways, go down rabbit holes, whatever. So Esther, could you please define success, and would you describe yourself as successful?
So this question to me is, I'll say this. No, I cannot define success. One, I think success is different for everyone. And even within our own lives and our own like different parts of our worlds, success is different, right? Like the way I am as a mom is different than the way I am as a wife, as a friend, as a business owner, as a podcast guest, right? I think like tangibly speaking, if we were to say success, I mean, to me, success is sort of like the physical manifestation of your dreams. So when will I know I'm successful? I always say this: when I have a built-in library, like a mahogany giant built-in library in my home and a closet full of Todd loafers. That's like when I know I've made it, which is, I guess, different than success. I would say yes and no in terms of the question, do I think I'm successful? I think that if we were to think about our lives, not just as like one plateau or one line, but kind of like a mountain range, right? And so for where I am now, having started my business a couple of years ago, I would say I'm still fairly new. Where I am now, yes, I am successful. Where I want to be when I get there, I will be successful. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I think that you and I set goals for ourselves personally and professionally, right? So I think that where you are now, you're saying, yes, I'm successful. I'm at this point right now. I'm not, where I want to end up, but right now I am successful. I'm doing X, Y, and Z. So that makes complete sense. It's just like, because we can relate, we own businesses. So I think I'm very successful right now for where I want to be, but my mind is constantly spinning with every other thing that I want to achieve and do. So yes, I'm not going to take away from the fact that I'm successful now, but like where I want to be, I mean, listen, I would love a library in my house because that sounds like, oh, I just like, I love books and I love this, whatever, the smell of books, the whole thing, right?
Me too. I love libraries.
So, oh, and then like a closet full of probably Gucci, I'd be like, you know what, Maritza, we're good. Like I'm happy. But
We're good here.
but that doesn't take away from the fact that, we're both making the steps to get there. So I think you nailed it. You answered the question perfectly. You're on your way to being continuously successful, I think is really what it is.
So now I get to ask you a question.
Ooh.
Where do you want to be? You said you're not yet where you want to be. Where
Mhm.
do you want to be?
So I have so many goals, weekly, daily, monthly goals. It's like exhausting to like a normal person that can't like I literally we were on was it oh no, we were in a training session
Yeah,
because you won your virtual session. I'm like writing down other things all the time. It's like I can't stop. But where I want to be is I want to own my own commercial building with all the businesses that I run. I only run two. Well, I have my fitness business, I have a massage business, and then it'll be like several other things. So that's my next step. So I'm happy. I'm successful right now because I'm able to actually think that, listen, I can do that soon as a commercial spot opens, which is like never. But
Don't say
that's
that.
right now is not the best time. Only not because of like the price. I mean, everything's inflated. However, just what's on the market right now, unless you're building it from the ground up, it doesn't. It's just there isn't anything out there unless anyone knows anything I don't know. Send me a message, please. But that's my next step. And after that, my next step is to hire several employees. I already have a couple. And then at that point, be able to enjoy my life, raise a family, and just be happy. I don't want to be that person that's coming home from work or just like, I don't want to ever be like, oh my God, I need a fucking vacation. Like, I love my life. I love everything that I do. I'm never like down unless, I mean, I don't really know ever. But short answer, when I have that spot with my businesses, that's my next
Mhm.
step. And then after that is when I can raise my family and not have to focus so much on work, but have the work do the work for me so I don't have to.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
those are my steps. And I will get there. I already know that. It's just timing wise, I'm figuring it out.
Yeah.
Love that question. Thank you for asking me that. All right. So this is one of my favorite questions. I mean, I love all these questions. I just came up with them. But
They're all good. I came up with them. Obviously, they're good.
they're great. So explain what the word mindset means to you and apply it to your current work role and life.
Um, I think mindset is, let me think about this. I think mindset is a state of being, right? Because you you can be happy, you can be sad. We're human. We need to have, it's important to have both emotions, right? And everything in between. So I never say, oh, I want to be happy. I mean, of course I want to be happy, but like it's not my end goal. My end goal is to be fulfilled, to be content, to be at peace. And so with a mindset, it's a state of being, which equals a state of doing, right? So what is your state? And I guess even before that, it's like a state of thinking, a state of doing, and then a state of being. That's the order I would put it in.
Mhm.
What are you thinking? What are you constantly thinking? What are you choosing to think will create what you are doing, right? Like again, going back to the limiting beliefs versus, thoughts that serve you, what you will do, and then that creates what you will be, your state of being. And so to me, I guess mindset are those three steps: state of thinking, state of doing, state of being. And then what was the other question? How do I
Apply it to your work and your personal life.
um so with my work, I think it's sort of like an easier question. Well, actually, no, that's not true because I practice what I preach. I always tell my clients that. I never tell my clients anything. I never give them any exercises that I haven't tried myself. Um, so I apply it to my personal and my professional life by starting to think about like, well, what are you thinking? What are the thoughts that are going through your mind? Stop and recognize your thoughts, right? Like I always say, in order to change your thoughts, change your life. How do we change our thoughts? We change them by recognizing them. How do we recognize them? We start by recognizing them. And I know that sounds cyclical, but by starting to recognize our thoughts, we can say, oh, wait, I don't like that thought. That thought doesn't serve me. Let me choose that thought instead. So then when we choose that thought, we choose a different result. We choose a different action and a different result. And then when we choose a different result, we have a different state of being. So that's really where I do the bulk of the work personally, professionally, is like, what are your thoughts? How are we going to change them into what?
Okay, so I understand exactly what you're saying. So what would you do for someone that really like can't get out of their own way? I have this a lot. So clients that, really, really want to lose weight. Just obviously this is, in my industry, a lot of people want to lose weight or change their body in some way, shape, or form, which is totally fine. What would you say to someone that consistently says, I'll give you an example because it'll be easier. So I'm Amanda. Okay. I'll just use me as an example and kind of whatever. I want to lose 15 pounds by June 1st, but I'm consistently making up excuses like, oh, this is super stressful. My relationship's terrible. And I don't know if I can commit to this, but like, what would you do to that person in that sense? Does that make sense what I'm trying to ask? Because I have a lot of these situations within my job, because a lot of people will be like, well, I want to do this, but everything's bringing them down in life. So walk me a
Yeah.
little bit through that, because I know that that's what you do.
Yeah. So I actually have a very specific exercise that I do. I do it in all of my my first calls throughout the coaching, and it's what I call my a why tree, as in the question why. And I mean, we can do it depending on it. It gets really personal and really deep, really quickly. But
I mean, I'm okay if you want to do it, but
yeah,
you want to do it?
sure.
We're
How
going
much
live.
it takes, I don't know how much time we have for this podcast.
However long you want to be on for.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's a series of questions. Why is it important to you? Put differently, what's in it for you? What do I mean by what's in it for you? So we as humans, everything we do really is for ourselves. And that's not to say it's selfish.
Right.
It could be for wonderful reasons, but no matter what, whether or not you're helping your grandma out or helping to save the world or creating a business or anything, everything that we do ultimately is for ourselves. So when I say what's in it for you, I don't mean it in a selfish way. I really mean it like, what is in it for you? So when you hear me ask that question, that's what I mean.
Got it. And I'll be very open and honest. So.
Okay. So are we doing the Amanda wants to lose 15 pounds by June 1st example or a real example?
A real example.
Okay. So give me an issue that you've seen come up, like maybe something that you want to achieve, a goal that you haven't been able to, a thought, a limiting thought. Give me something and we'll go from there.
Okay. So I could go, I kind of want to go. I mean, this isn't like a terrible thing. Like I know I can achieve it. No, I won't use that one then. I guess I could use the one that I just was sharing with you. Getting into like purchasing a commercial. Okay, yeah. So we'll go with purchasing and or leasing, depending on what it is, a commercial storefront for my businesses, because
Okay.
that is my business goal right now.
So commercial store,
Yeah. Like a commercial space.
Commercial space. Okay, great. So I'm just going to use it. Okay. So Amanda, you just told me that something that's important to you is one of your goals is to have this commercial space. Why? Why is that important to you?
It's important to me for a few reasons. The main reason right now is because I need to get out of the space that I'm in. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just it's a smaller commercial space within my house, because at the time we weren't able to really work in the public, whatever. So that's one limiting thing. Another reason is I want to expand my business. So I want to be able to have more people training at a time. I need space for the other businesses that I have as well.
Okay. Why? Why is it important for you to expand your business?
The more I help people, the more fulfilled. I know that that's like the common theme, the common word today, the more fulfilled I'll be. I genuinely want to help so many people to a point where I want to hire people and show them how to help other people. So that is the main reason. And then obviously financially, if I have more people working for me, I make more money and I'm able to work less. So
Okay. So you said the more people I can help, the more I'll feel fulfilled. What's in it for you? Why? What's in it for you to feel more fulfilled?
I know that the more fulfilled I am, the better person I am for everyone else around me. I'll be able to focus more on other things. I mean, everyone knows me. I'm very family oriented. I want to spend as much time with my family as possible. So that is the main reason. I want to be able to, as soon as Maritza and I get married and have children, I want to have that time to raise my child, not have to stress about anything financial.
So you said I want to be a better person and be able to be a good, I'll use the word family member, right? Mom, wife, etc. What's in it for you to be a better person?
What's in it for me?
Why is that important to you?
That's just like who I want to be in life. Like I always want to be the best version. I mean, that's just who I strive to be. I mean, I don't know, like I just want to be a good person all around. Not for anyone else, but for me. Like I know I want to be able to go to bed at night and be like, I did everything that I could for myself and for everyone around me. I feel like I'm in the hot seat.
I know. And why is it important to you to be able to do everything you could for yourself and your family? You said, I want to go to bed at night saying I did everything I could for myself and my family. Why is that important to you?
Because
What's in it for
family,
you to do that?
for me, I mean, just honestly, to see my family happy and me spending time with them as much as possible will literally make me the happiest because I just think life is way too short and I don't want to spend it, working day and night. I want to spend it with my family because that's the most important. I want to be able to, my parents call me like, hey, come on, like whatever. I want to be able to do that always.
And what's in it for you? Why is that important to you, for your family to be happy and for you to be happy?
I feel like just because I just want to be happy. Yeah, I don't know. I want to be happy. I just want to spend as much time with honestly, that's all I don't know if am I missing something?
No, and everyone always asks, trust me, there is an end to this.
Okay.
Yep. No, 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 trust me. And we're almost there. So you said, I want to be happy. What if so one thing that I always coach my clients on is I don't love the term happy.
Mhm.
Just like I already said, we're human, and there are times where we will be happy, and there are times where we should be sad. Someone
Mhm.
passes away, something sad happens, right?
Right.
And we can't always be happy all the time unless we're on some serious drugs, which is not my forte. So I encourage you to find a different state of being than happy. Here are some ones that I like, and I know you mentioned it. I mentioned it.
Mhm.
Fulfilled,
Mhm.
content, satisfied, gratified.
Oh, satisfied. That's it. Because my whole life, like my mom will tell me all the time, I am my father too. It's like through and through. He's the best guy in the entire world. I know I've said this to you in our podcast prior. He is the best guy in the entire world, but sometimes and I see it now, he's actually more satisfied with things. Like he's always trying to look like never fully like satisfied with something, like whatever it is, but not in a mean way or anything, just like never satisfied. I want to be able to be satisfied with all aspects of my life. Like I'm satisfied in a lot of areas, but I want everything to be like, I'm good. Like that's it. I'm not stressed about it. That's what it is. I'm satisfied.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you one last
Yeah.
time. What's in it for you to be satisfied?
Peace of mind.
I'm actually going to ask you one more time. What's in it for you to have peace of mind? When you are of peace of mind, how do you show up? What's in it for you to have peace of mind?
Clear-headed. I'm fully there. Like for myself and everyone. No, go.
Tell me more. I'm fully there. What does that mean? What's in it for you to be fully there? What does that mean to you? Why is that important to be fully there? How do you show up when you're fully there?
I'm able to listen better, provide better advice to people. Like just, I think the listening aspect is not that I don't listen, but I just feel like if I were more satisfied, I wouldn't have like this like hamster wheel in my head constantly going of all the things. Like I want that part to just stop.
And how would you show up when you're listening, when you're of peace of mind, when you're satisfied? How do you show up? Who are you being when you have peace of mind and satisfied?
Myself.
Bingo.
Oh, is that the answer?
I would say 9 times out of 10. It's not the answer. There is no answer. Let me just stress, there is no real answer. Yet time and again, when I do the why tree, no matter where we start at the top, the root is almost always be myself, right? And I'm gonna go back and tell you. So Amanda, I asked you, what do you want? You said, I want a commercial space. Why? What's in it for you? I want to get out of my current space. I want to expand my business. Why do you want to expand your business? I want to be more fulfilled. Why is that important to you? Because I want to be a better person. Why is that important to you? Because it's who I want to be. I want to be able to say I did everything I could for myself and my family. Why? What's in it for you? Because when I see my family happy, I'm the happiest. Why? What's in it for you? Because I want to be satisfied. Why? What's in it for you to be satisfied? Because I'll have peace of mind. Why? What's in it for you to have peace of mind? Because I'll be myself. So you asked me, your original question is, how do I work with my clients? Like, how do I figure out like, oh, they said they want to lose 10 pounds, but like, but then they give me a bunch of BS excuses. In the work that we do, when I ask you, Amanda, you said you wanted this commercial space. What is the goal behind the goal? What's your real why? Like, why do you want that commercial space? It's not because you want to get out of the space. You can get out of space tomorrow. You could go work in, like in your backyard, right? Or my backyard, or your mom's house, whatever, right? That's not the real reason. The real reason is because I'm showing, for those of you viewers, I always show this, is because you want to feel satisfied. You want to have peace of mind, and you want to be able to be yourself.
That was geez. That was a lot of goosebumps, a lot of thinking, and I love that. Like I hope that everyone just got something out of that, because that was Esther really helping me with what she does as her profession, as well as me being open and vulnerable to what I want and how I feel. And I hope that task just really like helped everyone and opened their eyes, because it's hard to make me speechless because I can talk and talk and talk, but you just did that. So thank you very much for sharing your expertise with that, because that just like I felt that, and I just like I got the goosebumps. So that's how you know it's real. Honestly, I'm a very like intuitive, like how I feel,
Yeah. And I just want to acknowledge you, by the way, Amanda. I mean, putting yourself out there like that to your listeners, some of them might know you, some of them might not know you personally, some of them are brand new to this episode, and to put yourself out there, because like I said, we go deep on this we go deep, real quickly. So I just want to acknowledge you for being vulnerable and being open to doing this on your podcast. So go you.
Thanks. I mean, since I started sharing life on social media and just struggles, I just realized that maybe I help one person And that's really the goal of, doing all these things so that one person can take something away from it. And I genuinely believe that exercise that we just did, so we help someone. And
Yeah.
that to me is like the feels on the inside that make you keep doing the things you're doing. And that's why I just share it all. It's all out on the table so everyone knows my goals, what I'm doing. And thank you for taking me through that exercise. All right. I have one last question for you.
All right, bring it on.
Um, I want you to leave our listeners with some words of wisdom. Maybe they're thinking about starting their own business or something. What advice would you give them?
I'm thinking.
Take as long as you need.
I think what I would say is that it's not so easy to, when people say, oh, I just need to do X, Y, and Z to start my own business. Well, I just need to do that. I just haven't had time. I want to, it's not just that easy, and give yourself some grace. Because if it was just that easy, you would have done it already. And it's okay that you haven't. To give yourself some grace and to really think, how badly do you want it? Because if you want it badly enough, it's something that you think you want, then do the work. Find a coach. I mean, obviously, shameless self plug. I'm a great coach, but it doesn't have to be me. It could start with a book. You can heal your life. It can start with a podcast. It can start somewhere, but start. If that is something that you truly want and you don't know how to do it and you have these limiting beliefs, you are only human. And if you want to change them, start in one place.
I love that. Grace. That's honestly what it is. Just that's it. I'm not going to add anything to that. I love that. Honestly, this has been such a great experience. Every time that I talk to someone, whether it's on a podcast or on the phone, and I really click, like I just, all the goosebumps, all the feels. I know you can see that. Maybe you can feel it through whatever you're listening to this on. But Esther, I truly appreciate you being on this podcast and sharing your expertise and where you came from, how you started, and walking me through exercises that you do for your own clients. So I genuinely appreciate that and being on my podcast. So I'm going to wrap up here. Esther, is there anything else you'd like to share other than those last words?
So I just had this thought. I do exercises for our thoughts, and you do exercises for the body. So I love that. That's a nice little symbiotic relationship.
Love that.
The only thing I would add is, if you are interested in working with me, I offer free 30-minute coaching sessions just so you can get a taste, because I don't want you to commit to something that you don't have a taste for. So you can visit my website, es.esq.com, es.esq.com. Find me on all the Insta faces. I'm there. And I look
Perfect.
forward to talking to everyone. And also, Amanda, again, thank you for the work that you do.
And thank you. Esther, I'll put all of your information below. So if anyone is interested in contacting her, her Instagram, her website, and anything else she wants me to share will be in the description below. Thank you all for listening. Share this with someone. Stay tuned to the next episode. Hopefully be on soon. But I appreciate every single person that took the time to listen to this podcast today. And again, thank you very much, Esther. We will see you in the next episode. Have a great day, night, morning, whatever day it is.